the hidden fear that controls inmates in maximum security prisons. Subscribe now, before the lights go out again. Like this if you can handle the truth, and comment if you think you already know what scares men behind bars. What inmates fear the most inside maximum security, not what you think. The alarms didn't sound when Marcus Reed disappeared. That was the first thing that unsettled everyone who later reviewed the footage. No sirens. No lockdown. Just a routine count that rolled forward as if nothing had changed. At 5:40 a.m., the tail lights blinked on. At 5:47, officers moved down the line. At 5:53, a cell stood empty where a man had been the night before. Maximum security is built to notice everything. A missing person should ripple through concrete and steel like a dropped wrench. But Reed's cell door was locked. His property was neatly stacked. His mattress was tight enough to bounce a coin. It was as if he'd been erased between breaths. They found him hours later, not dead, not injured, not escaped. He was in a place inmates dread more than the yard fights and whispered threats people imagine. He was in administrative segregation, known to everyone inside as the hole. Reed sat on the slab, hands flat on his knees, eyes fixed on a wall painted the color of old snow. The camera captured his first words to the nurse who checked his vitals. He didn't ask where he was. He asked how long. No one answered. The official reason for Reed's transfer was pending investigation. That phrase can stretch from hours into months without warning. It doesn't come with dates or promises. It doesn't even come with certainty. Inside maximum security, uncertainty is the sharpest edge. Reed wasn't a gang leader. He wasn't violent. He was a clerk, one of the men who moved paper, tracked inventory, and knew the rhythms of the place better than most officers. He knew which doors stuck, which officers rotated early, which privileges vanished first when something went wrong. He also knew what terrified men who'd already lost everything else. Isolation. The hole wasn't loud. It wasn't brutal in the way people expect. It was quiet. 23 hours alone. A slot in the door for meals. Fluorescent lights that hummed like insects. Time that didn't move forward so much as press inward. Days without voices turned minutes into traps. Investigators would later say Reed requested protective custody. The logs say otherwise. He was transferred after an interview that lasted 8 minutes and 46 seconds. The recording begins with a chair scraping concrete and ends with a pen tapping twice on a clipboard. Between those sounds, something changed. Captain Elena Morales watched the footage alone, long after the shift ended. Morales had worked maximum security for 15 years. She'd learned to read fear without faces, through posture, pacing, the way men counted steps to pass the time. She knew what violence looked like before it happened. Reed didn't look violent. He looked resigned. "Pause it," she said to no one. The freeze frame caught Reed's eyes. Not panic. Not anger. Calculation. The kind that comes when a man understands he's about to lose control of something invisible but essential. Morales rewound. The interviewer asked one question that mattered. "Are you aware of any reason your status might change?" Reed swallowed. "Status," he repeated. Then he nodded once. "Yes." He didn't elaborate. Status changes were the quiet terror of maximum security. A transfer without notice. A privilege revoked without explanation. A classification downgrade that put a man next to someone who wanted to prove something. Violence was loud and brief. Status changes were silent and permanent. The interviews widened. Other inmates were brought in, one by one. None accused Reed of wrongdoing. None defended him either. They spoke carefully, choosing words like stepping stones. Morales noticed a pattern. Not in what they said, but in what they avoided. No one mentioned names. No one mentioned reasons. Everyone mentioned time. "How long did you know?" Morales asked one man. He shrugged. "Long enough." Long enough for what? For the papers to catch up. That phrase, papers catching up, kept appearing. In a place governed by forms and codes, paperwork was fate. It decided where you slept, who you ate with, whether you saw the sky. And it moved slowly unless someone pushed it. Morales pulled Reed's file. Clean conduct. No write-ups. Stable job assignment. The only anomaly was a request stamped 3 weeks earlier, a transfer review marked urgent. No author listed. No justification attached. Urgent without explanation was a loaded gun. She traced the routing. The request passed through 3 desks in a day. That didn't happen by accident. Someone wanted Reed moved quickly and quietly. Not to another unit. Not to another facility. To a place where time dissolved. When Morales visited the hole, Reed didn't stand. He didn't speak until she asked the right question. "What do you think you're being punished for?" she said. He looked at the wall. "Knowing the order," he replied. "The order of what?" "The order things disappear," Reed said. "Privileges. People. Records." Morales waited. "They don't hit you," Reed continued. "They don't threaten you. They just change your status. And everyone else learns." Morales felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. "Learns what?" Reed turned then, finally meeting her eyes. "That it can happen anytime," he said. "For any reason. Or no reason at all." That was when Morales understood what inmates feared most inside maximum security. Not violence. Not death. Not even betrayal. They feared the system deciding, without warning, that they no longer existed in the same way. Back in her office, Morales found the last piece. A maintenance log altered at 2:12 a.m. the night Reed vanished from count. A door marked secure was temporarily reclassified. Not broken. Not forced. Reclassified. Someone hadn't removed Reed. They'd refiled him. Morales closed the folder and leaned back, the weight of it settling in her chest. If status could be weaponized this cleanly, then Reed wasn't the first. He was the example. And when she opened the next file, one that had never been flagged before, she realized something worse. Reed's name wasn't the only one missing from the roster. It was just the first one anyone had noticed. The second name missing from the roster belonged to a man who hadn't made waves in years. Thomas Hale. 52. Lifelong sentence. No gang ties. No disciplinary history worth noting. The kind of inmate who vanished into routine so completely that officers stopped seeing him. Until his cell came up empty. Morales pulled Hale's file and felt the same tightening she'd felt with Reed's. Neat records. Stable classification. Then, 3 weeks ago, a notation appeared in the margins of an internal review, status pending. No signature. No date. No follow-up. Pending was purgatory. Hale wasn't in the hole. He wasn't in medical. He hadn't transferred. His ID still pinged the system as active, yet no camera showed him moving. It was as if the prison believed he existed while the walls disagreed. Morales called in Lieutenant Harris, a man who'd survived the politics of maximum security by keeping his head down and his paperwork immaculate. He studied the screen with a practiced calm. "Records lag," he said. "Systems glitch." "Twice?" Morales asked. "In the same window? With the same kind of request?" Harris didn't answer immediately. He folded his arms, eyes tracing the grid of feeds. "What are you looking for?" he asked. "Patterns," Morales said. "And motive." The motive came from Reed during a second visit to the hole. Morales brought him a pencil and paper, an allowance he hadn't had in days. He didn't thank her. He wrote, "They don't punish you for what you do. They punish you for what you could tell." Morales read the line twice. "Tell about what?" Reed tapped the pencil twice. The same sound from the interview tape. "The order," he said. "Who signs first? Who looks away? Who benefits?" "Benefits how?" Reed's smile was thin. "Privileges," he said. "Extra time. Better jobs. Transfers that don't feel like punishment. You think those are random?" Morales didn't. She returned to the records room and started mapping movement against benefit. Who got what and when? A guard reassigned away from night shifts after a complaint vanished. A clerk promoted after a stack of grievances disappeared into review. A supervisor praised for stability during a month when transfers spiked without explanation. It wasn't corruption in the way people imagine. No envelopes. No cash. It was leverage. Quiet and bloodless. The hole was the stick. Status was the carrot. Hale surfaced 3 days later in an even worse place than isolation, a sudden transfer to a facility known for unpredictable lockdowns. No advance notice. No chance to pack. The paperwork arrived after he left. Morales watched the transport video. Hale shuffled in restraints, eyes darting, not in fear of the officers, but of the unknown ahead. Transfers broke routines. Routines were survival. Strip them away and men made mistakes. Mistakes got you hurt. Morales flagged the transfer. The response came back swift and vague. Administrative necessity. She pressed harder and got a meeting with the warden, a man whose calm voice had steadied more than one crisis. "You're chasing shadows," he told her. "We move people for safety." "For whose safety?" Morales asked. The warden held her gaze. "The institutions." That was the first honest answer she'd heard. Late that night, a guard Morales trusted slipped her a copy of a scheduling memo. It showed a cluster of staff rotations aligned precisely with the urgent requests. Same desk, same approvals, same time window. She circled the names and felt a familiar dread. This wasn't a rogue operator. It was a process. Processes outlived people. Morales confronted Harris again, this time with the memo on the table. He studied it longer than before. When he spoke, his voice was quieter. "You don't understand what happens if you keep pulling," he said. "Tell me," Morales replied. Harris exhaled. "They won't fight you. They'll reclassify you. New assignment. Less access. You won't see it as punishment, but your reach will shrink. And the system will keep working." Morales thought of Reed's words. "They just change your status." That night, the cameras blinked in a pattern Morales had never noticed before. Not just delayed. A few seconds here. A few there. Enough to move someone from frame to frame without being tracked continuously. She realized then that the system didn't need violence. It needed time. Small gaps multiplied into invisibility. The next morning, Morales arrived to find her badge access downgraded. Not revoked. Downgraded. She could still work. She just couldn't pull the same reports. A note waited on her desk. No signature. For words, neatly typed. Let it stabilize itself. Morales went to the hole one last time before her access closed. Reed sat where she'd last seen him, posture unchanged. He looked up and read her face. "They moved you," he said. "Not yet," Morales replied. "They will," Reed said. "And when they do, it'll be clean." "Why you?" Morales asked. Reed leaned forward. "Because I counted," he said. "Not days. Not years. I counted exceptions. How often rules bent. Who they bent for. And Hale?" Reed's jaw tightened. Hale saw the list. Morales's phone buzzed. A message from Central Administration. "Immediate review of your role pending." Pending again. As she turned to leave, Reed spoke softly. "If you're going to stop it," he said, "don't expose the people. Expose the rule." Morales understood. Names could be replaced. Rules couldn't, at least not quietly. She returned to her office and compiled everything into a single file. Not accusations, but math. Frequencies. Correlations. Timelines. She showed how a status change here predicted a privilege there. How a transfer silenced a complaint. How isolation taught everyone else to behave. She sent it to one place that didn't answer to the prison. And then she waited. The response didn't come from above. It came from inside. An emergency audit was announced, framed as routine. Outside eyes arrived with clipboards and polite smiles. The system reacted as systems do. It adapted. Transfers slowed. Requests stalled. The hole emptied by degrees. Reed was released back to general population without explanation. Hale's transfer was reconsidered, though he never returned. Morales was reassigned to training. A demotion without a cut in pay. A narrowing of reach. The audit's public summary found no evidence of systemic abuse. It recommended minor adjustments. But in the weeks that followed, something changed. The urgent requests stopped appearing. The camera delays vanished. The pencil taps ceased. Morales stood on the tier one evening and watched men move through their routines. Fear was still there. Maximum security never lost it, but it had shifted. Because once inmates learned the quietest weapon had been seen, even briefly, it lost some of its power. Or so it seemed. 3 months later, a new roster printed for count. Morales glanced at it out of habit and felt her breath catch. A familiar name had returned. Marcus Reed. But the status column next to it read something new. Pending external review. And that meant someone, somewhere, was still pulling the lever. Just more carefully now. The word pending followed Marcus Reed like a shadow. It didn't matter that he was back in general population, that his mattress lay flat again, that his name reappeared on the count sheets. Pending meant the decision hadn't been made yet, or worse, that it had been made and simply hadn't arrived. Reed felt it in the way conversations stopped when he approached. In maximum security, silence could be a kindness or a warning. He treated it as both. Morales watched from the margins now. Training duty kept her away from the records and the cameras, but it gave her something else: time. Time to listen to officers talk without realizing they were being heard. Time to watch how policy filtered into practice. Time to see which habits died quickly and which learned to hide. The audit had changed the surface. It hadn't cured the disease. The hole was quieter than before, but it still swallowed men without clocks. Transfers slowed, but they didn't stop. Status changes were now justified with thicker paperwork and cleaner language. The rule Reed had warned her about had been exposed, just enough to make it smarter. Morales received an envelope one evening after training wrapped late. No return address. Inside was a copy of her own file, sections highlighted in yellow. Not disciplinary. Evaluative. Phrases like effective but disruptive, requires supervision, better utilized away from sensitive access. Pending had found her. She didn't tell anyone. She went to Reed instead, meeting him near the library shelves where cameras overlapped just enough to discourage lingering. "They've learned," she said. Reed nodded. "They always do." "What happens now?" Reed considered the question. "Now the fear moves," he said. "It won't be isolation for a while. Too obvious. It'll be uncertainty." "Isn't that the same thing?" "No," Reed said. "Isolation is loud once you're in it. Uncertainty is quiet before it." He was right. In the weeks that followed, privileges flickered unpredictably. Yard time shortened by minutes without explanation. Job assignments rotated midweek. Men were told reviews were coming, then told nothing more. The effect was immediate. Voices lowered. Complaints evaporated. The system didn't punish. It hinted. Morales finally received her notice. Reassignment approved. Effective immediately. No reason given. No appeal offered. Training would continue, but her influence would be diluted across facilities where patterns were harder to see. The night before she left, Morales walked the Tier 1 last time. Reed was seated, reading slowly, as if time could be convinced to behave. "They'll keep doing it," she said. "Just not like before." Reed closed the book. "People think fear is about pain," he said. "It's not. Pain ends. Fear stretches." "What do inmates fear the most?" Morales asked, though she already knew. Reed didn't answer right away. He looked around. The bars, the lights, the men pretending not to listen. "They fear becoming optional," he said. "Not punished. Not killed. Just adjustable." Morales left before the count. At the gate, she paused and looked back at the walls. They hadn't changed. They never did. Months later, an incident report crossed her desk at the new facility. Different inmates. Different names. The same phrase appeared in the margins. Status pending. She sat down and read it twice. The system had survived Attica by learning how to shape the story. It had survived audits by learning how to shape the rules. Now it survived scrutiny by shaping fear itself, less visible, more effective. Morales forwarded the report to an external reviewer she trusted. Then she did something the system hadn't planned for. She started teaching. In classrooms filled with new officers, she talked about violence, yes, but she spent more time on silence. On paperwork. On how power hides in procedures. On how a status change can break a man faster than a blow. Some listened. Some didn't. That was enough. Reed's external review dragged on for another year. Then, without ceremony, it closed. No findings. No apology. His status returned to normal, which in maximum security meant nothing happened today. He wrote Morales a note when he was allowed. One sentence. "They didn't erase me. That's the win." Morales pinned it above her desk. The truth about maximum security wasn't that inmates feared each other. They adapted to that. They mapped it. They survived it. What they feared was the moment the system noticed them and decided to move them without explanation. Fear wasn't the sound of a door slamming shut. It was the soft click of a file being reclassified. And if you think that's unsettling, you're not ready for the next story. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it.